Well, that was fun. Hey, everybody, this is Shane R. Monroe. You're in the passenger seat with me. It is Passenger Seat Radio. It is August 19th, 2025. You're on my 13-mile commute home. Welcome to the show. And yes, what a commute home it's looking to be based on the red markings all over my Google Maps. Welcome to the show. Let me get my chat up. And yeah, well, I was out sick yesterday, so no show yesterday, so that's why I wasn't on the air. But let me tell you what my last week has been like, and hey, what's going on, man? Let me tell you what the last week has been like, and you'd probably come down sick too. So, it's a couple, I don't know, I guess it was a couple weeks back, I lost my wallet. Now, I was pretty sure somebody stole my wallet, but therein lies a story. So, let me give you a little bit of background because I find it's better for the story. So, on Tuesday, on Monday afternoon when I go home and Tuesday afternoon when I go home, I don't bring my backpack and my laptop home. I just bring my lunchbox. And on my lunchbox, I got a little side pocket. In the side pocket, I can put my wallet and my keys. Seems easy enough. And then I just take my lunchbox out to the car and I go home. Then I bring my lunchbox back the next day. And then on Wednesday, I bring my backpack home with my laptop because I work from home Thursdays and Fridays. Okay. So now you got the general gist. Now, when I leave, sometimes I've got to use the bathroom before I go. And I'm not going to bring something that I eat out of into the bathroom. So right outside the bathroom door is a water fountain, and it's got a nice ledge behind it. I swear that's what this ledge is for. I drop my lunchbox there, jump in, pee, wash my hands, come back out and grab my lunchbox. Well, I know 100% for a fact when I left the office, the wallet was in my lunchbox. When I got to my car, the wallet was not in my lunchbox. Now, could it have fallen out? Absolutely. So I retraced my steps. Nothing, right? Now, the only real place I could see it falling out would be like the elevator. And of course, I couldn't get the same elevator. There's 3 elevators there, and the one that I needed, I couldn't get on. So if it fell out in that elevator, I wouldn't know. So I ran by the security desks in both buildings, and no one's turned in a wallet, no one's seen a wallet. I'm like, shit. All right. So I ran up to my office because even though I was double, triple, quadruple sure that I had checked my lunchbox, maybe I just dreamed up that I did. So I went back up to my office, looked for my wallet, no wallet. So I have no wallet. So you know what this is like, right? If you've ever lost a wallet or a purse or, something like that, you've lost your ID, right? So you've lost your driver's license, you've lost your credit cards, you've lost your debit card, you've lost your insurance cards, and whatever the hell else might be in there, right? And of course, if you happen to have cash in there, heaven forbid, you're never going to see that again. Even if you manage to find the wallet, there'll be no cash left. Now I figured, because so the way my wallet is, there's a money clip on the back. So it's one of these flip opens. You put your cards inside, you close it, and I'm stuck at a red light so I can show you. So it's got one of these flip open guys. You got your ID in here, and then on the back is a clip. And that's where I tend to put the money. Unfortunately, that makes the money visible, but normally I put small bills on top of large bills. So I thought maybe I had a 20 on there, and it would have been visible had it been money side out in my lunchbox. So after all this running around and searching, I finally figured, okay, somebody stole it. Somebody probably took it out of my lunchbox while I was in the bathroom. That's the only thing that makes sense. Even though the building is wired with cameras everywhere and all this stuff, I was like, fuck, right? That's what you say when you lose your wallet or your purse. You say, fuck. That's just what comes out of your mouth. So now it's like I've got no license, right? So hopefully I don't get pulled over. My insurance cards are in there. I'm sure I have a backup one in the car here somewhere. Which credit cards did I have in there, if any? Don't remember. Well, what about my debit card? Well, shit. Without my debit card, I'm not buying anything, right? So now I'm freaked out. I get home and I'm all pissed off. And so the first thing I do is I go in and report all of my cards lost. Except for my main debit card, Navy Federal Credit Union, which is my bank. You can flip a switch to freeze or unfreeze your cards. So I thought, you know what? The wallet may turn up. I'm just going to freeze my debit card, right? It also turned out, this is a fun fact for those of you who might lose your wallet in the future. If you happen to use tap to pay, your debit card's probably in your phone. Now, that's not going to help you at a non-tap to pay. And if you freeze the card or report it lost, it's useless to you. Right? So that's something to think about. So the fact that I could freeze my card, right? Go to a point of sale, ring everything up, unfreeze the card, use tap to pay, then refreeze my card. That's how I've been getting by for the last couple of weeks. So interesting concept there. Now, if you can't freeze and unfreeze your card, Now, I also get notified by text every time my card exceeds a certain amount, and I can, of course, set other notifications, right? So I set a notification saying if any purchase is made on this debit card, then alert me. So even if it's frozen and somebody tries to use it, I'll know. Well, there was no attempts to use the card other than me using tap to pay. So I'm like, all right, so let's work out the possible scenarios here, because this is what I sit up at night doing instead of sleeping. Okay, so what probably happened is they took the wallet, took the cash, and chucked the entire wallet in a trash can, right? They took the cash, ditched the wallet. No one's going to use the cards. No one's going to get access to anything. They just probably chucked it. So that's what I kind of fell on that sword at the end of the day. It's like, you know what? They got the cash. Great. Good for them. But the wallet's probably not going to be used for illicit purposes. All the same, credit cards were canceled, and I froze my debit card, and that was it. End of story, right? So I bought a new wallet, same one as before, right? That's the one I just showed you a minute ago. I bought a new wallet, and I ordered a new driver's license. Now, you can get your driver's license, a new driver's license, sent to you by mail. My dumbass should have gone to the MVD and got a new license, but I didn't. I thought, hey, we can do it online, no problem, right? So I purchased a replacement online. By the way, still don't have it. The fuck's that about? $12 and they'll mail you a new one. Just like that. Bing, bang, boom, you're back at the mall. Well, I haven't seen it yet. And they give you like a PDF that says, this isn't not useful for identification, but this person did order a new copy of their card, blah, blah, blah. Now, I haven't been pulled over, so I don't know how far that PDF will take me. I'd rather not find out, to be honest with you. So I said, okay. Now this tap to pay, freezing the card, turning it on and off, I'm not going to be able to do that forever, right? So not this last weekend, but the weekend before, I ran to Navy Federal and said, hey, I lost my wallet and I really need a replacement debit card. You know what they said? Come on, guess what they said. I know you know what they said. Guess what they said. Can we see your driver's license? No, asshole. I told you I lost my wallet. Well, do you have a passport? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got a passport right here. So it's like, come on. I've got an app, right? My fingerprint opens the app. You can send me a verification over the app. I will use my thumbprint. I will sign in, and that will prove to you I am who I am. I'm sorry, sir. It doesn't work that way. You'll have to call the 1-800 number, and they'll have ways of identifying you. I'm like, well, wait a minute. That's going to be like 3 or 4 weeks to get that back. I'm going to do their stupid verification, and I'm going to have to wait like 4 weeks to get a card. In the meantime, they'll cancel my current one, which I'm now getting by doing tap to pay and freezing my card. I'm sorry, sir, but that's all we can do for you. Fuck. Okay, so I'm going to live with freeze to tap to pay until I get my goddamn replacement license. And that's just the way it's going to be, I suppose, right? Let's fast forward a little bit. So Sunday, my car battery dies. I go out and my car won't, when you push your push to start and the car sounds like it's barely working, and you know that your battery's life is at the end. It's like, okay, I'm gonna get like 3 or 4 more starts out of this and the battery's gonna be kaput, right? So Monday morning, I called in sick because I was sick, still not feeling well. I was sick and I got no car, right? My wife's gone, can't start the car, don't have a way to jump it. So I called in and said, listen, the universe is sending me a very clear message here. Don't go to work today. Stay the fuck home and rest and relax, and then get your battery fixed later. That's what the universe was telling me. And so I listened. And so I refashioned I did my emails, I refashioned my calendar, told work that I was calling in sick. Of course, my number one, my backup also called in sick. So I said, okay, I will monitor emails, and if anything crazy happens, you can call me, but, don't depend on me, because I'm technically taking a sick day. So, so I called up my Big O Tires. Big O Tires is who I have do most of my stuff for me, right? They do my tires, they do my oil changes. I've known the guys down there for 15 freaking years. It's one of those places that, you are probably screwing you, but they're not screwing you overtly. You know what I'm saying? So I call them up and I'm like, hey, you guys sell batteries, right? I mean, you guys can put a battery in for me? He's like, yeah. And I say, can you send somebody to jump the car and get me down there so that, we can do the battery? Like, yeah, we could do that. And he said, what kind of car do you have? 2018 Honda Accord, blah blah blah. And he's like, that's a 7390 battery, blah blah blah. Well, I don't have any. Wait a minute, you don't have that battery? No. I'm like, oh fuck. God damn it. Okay, fine. Listen, I am not a complete car phobe. I can change out a battery. I just didn't feel like doing it because I was sick. So I drive down to AutoZone, and I'm like, hey, check my battery, would you? Because they do free battery checks, free OBD checks, blah, blah, blah. And the guy's like, we're understaffed today. We can't do that. I'm like, fuck, can you sell me a battery? Are you too understaffed for that? And so they sell me a battery, because I'm sure it's the battery. I'm willing to bet on it. So, unbelievable. When did fucking batteries become so goddamn expensive, right? I got a 4-year battery, which, by the way, there's no such thing as a 4-year battery in Phoenix, right? The heat eats these fucking batteries alive. The one I had in there prior to was actually from 11 of 21. So 3.5-year, 4-year battery. So that wasn't bad. Most of the time, they'll forget about it. Shave a year off, and then you'll have to deal with the warranty and all that other nonsense. So I said, just sell me the battery, and if that's not it, I'm sure it's the battery. I'm positive it's the battery. So I haul the battery out to the car, and I'm going to put it in the back seat on the floorboard, right? Now you might be seeing where this is going. Well, when I lost my wallet, I checked my car, right? Because I literally got in the car, put my lunchbox down on the seat next to me, and the wallet was missing. And I looked around just to be safe. I reached my hand in between the seats just to make sure. Nothing. And listen, there's no way it couldn't have happened that way. Well, get this. So I'm rummaging some garbage off of the back floorboard, which, by the way, I checked behind there, by the way, because I had to get under the seat to make sure that if it fell out and it fell under the seat, that I checked, right? So I'm moving some of the trash that's in the floorboard. One of them was a drink carrier. True story. And when I moved that drink carrier, out fell my wallet. So by getting a dead battery, I found my wallet. How is that for fucking weird universe shit? Had my battery not died, I would still be without my wallet. And I'm still don't have my replacement license yet. What's that all about? So the dead battery did me the service of helping me find my wallet, which is just, there's some weird shit about that. I don't know. But anyway, so got the battery changed out. Of course, it was the battery, but what a weird fucking day, weird week. So the entire week up to this point, let me tell you what's going on, man. So I'm very close with the people that work for me. And when they go through bad life experiences, it kind of affects me. Not only because maybe they're not in the office and they're on leave or whatever, but because I only care about the people who work for me. And so one of my employees, and I'm going to be as vague as possible because I don't want to tip anybody off of who could be what, but one of my employees said, I need a whole bunch of time off. My dad has a thyroid surgery coming up. You know, he's old, and I need to be there to, make sure everything is good. And if anything goes wrong with the surgery, I need to be there, blah, blah, blah. This person, their family lives out of country. So it's basically like, yeah, it's going to be a month, right? So, high performing employee. I have a very small team, and unfortunately that's going to set us behind a little bit. But for me, it was more like this person needs to be there for that, no matter what it takes, So I'm talking to HR, I'm arranging for FMLA, blah, 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 just in case. God only knows what's going to happen. So that's how the week started. The next day, I get a text from one of my other employees, and they're like, I'm taking my wife to the emergency room. And I'm not going to go into details about why. But I'm like, yeah, dude, go. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of everything. Just go. Go. Take care of your family. So then he writes back, and things are not good. I'm going to leave it at that. They're pretty bad for him right now. And it's like, Jesus, God damn. So of course you put yourself in that situation, right? Like, shit, that could be me, right? I mean, just because it's not you, could have been you. Your wife could have had to have been rushed to the emergency room and got that diagnosis and that outcome, and that could be you. And then it was just like, God damn, nicest guy ever, right? It's like, oh, God, I'm so sorry. Right, so that puts me in this, and then of course I've been following up with the employee. There's only so much you can do medically, legally, right, to sort of follow up. If they offer you the information, great, but you can't ask, right, sort of thing. And so I'm getting some details, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, damn, what else? How much else do we need to deal with this week? Well, come Thursday, one of my employees reaches out, middle of the workday, and says, my dog just drank bleach water. I've got to run her to the emergency vet. Brand new puppy, 5 months old, drank bleach water. So I'm like, dude, go. Hopefully you're already in the car. You're not texting me to see if it's okay. Just go. So I'm sitting there thinking, geez. And then my mind started going back to those horrible stories where there were these shitheads who broke into like a ferret breeding farm and injected bleach into a bunch of ferrets so they could watch them scream and die. And I'm thinking, what could that poor puppy? I mean, think about that. You got to take. I mean, there's not an emergency vet right next door to this guy. He's going to have to drive that poor animal who just drank bleach water. God knows what's going on, to the vet. And I'm like, so the charcoal? I don't know. So I'm just thinking, my God, this sucks ass. And so then then he reaches back out to me later in the afternoon. We had to put her down. There was no choice. I'm going, oh my God. First off, right? Like if you left down bleach water and the dog drank it and you had to put the dog down, how do you reckon with that? Right? because isn't like survivor's guilt type scenario, like you literally like feel to yourself that you killed your dog. I know I would feel that way, and I can't even. So, dude, this all happened in 1 week, and then on Saturday, my wife's last pet rat. Don't give me that fucking look. Rats can be pets too, and this rat has fucking ran the gambit. Most rats live about 2 years, 2.5 if you're lucky. This rat was over 3 years old. He was old, he was decrepit, but he was fighter and he was sticking around, and my wife was not ready for this to go. But you could tell he was paralyzed. He was getting that smelly, going to die smell to him. We knew that it was coming, and my wife's like, I can't let the rat suffer. I'm going to have to take him in. And it's like, okay, listen, he beat the clock, man. This guy in human years, he's like a $120. Yeah, I don't think I want to be around at a $120. So she takes him down, and of course she's texting me the whole time. I didn't think it would be this hard. I mean, listen, we've had to put a lot of animals down. I mean, we've had a lot of animals in our lives, and so you think it gets easier, but it doesn't. Especially this one. This is her last rat. Yada yada yada, and she's all sad. She's like, "Oh my God, he won't go." And I'm like, "What are you?" He's like, they've shot him up twice and he won't pass. He won't go. They're going to have to take him into the back, which means they're going to have to do something horrible to finish him off, I guess. I don't know how else to put that. So she's a fucking mess. She comes home, she's a mess. Of course she's a mess. I'm a mess because she's a mess. And I'm carrying all this shit from the past week. And I'm not sleeping. So yeah, of course I'm fucking sick on Monday, right? After that sort of a weekend and week, I don't know how anybody's expected to not get sick after something like that. So that's been the week. That's why I'm sick. Oh, by the way, my wife's back to school too. So now we can start filtering the Black Plague back into the house because kids don't stay home when they're sick. So anywho, that's been my week. Lost wallet, found wallet with a dead battery as the catalyst. Unbelievable. So let me see here. Let's see if we can talk about something less gruesome and unpleasant, shall we? If you've been following along on my YouTube channel, a couple of people in my inner circle have discovered the joys of Xbox 360 hacking. Now, for those of you who, maybe don't know a lot about the Xbox 360 and its hackability state, up until recently, hacking the Xbox 360 has required opening it up, soldering precision wiring and putting in mod chips, doing this, doing that. If you happen to have certain models of the 360, you could do it a little bit easier, flashing DVD firmware, yada. List goes on and on. It's a pain in the ass. It's always been a pain in the ass. Well, a handful of months ago, there was a hypervisor exploit that came out that basically allowed you a 1 in 30 chance, 30% chance of being able to exploit a save game scenario, right? You load up a trial copy of a game, it loads up an exploit, and it might work. You had a 30% chance, and it could take an hour to run. So, I mean, and you have to do that every time you boot. So, it's a neat curio, but it's not really a solution, if you know what I mean. Well, then they released a fix that not only shortened the length of time from an hour or potentially an hour to maybe potentially 15 minutes, but most of the time it kicks off in like a minute, 2 minutes. And it's got more like an 85 or 90% chance of kicking off. So that's pretty good, right? I mean, that's something you can live with. You boot the 360, you run this game, and within 2 minutes, you're at a boot menu or at a cover flow menu that's got like every game you want sitting on the USB drive. That's pretty cool. So we've been spending a lot of time on that, and I did a show video where I basically showed what that looks like, and the basics of how it works. But then I was inundated with, hey, can you do like a proper tutorial and cover all the things that could go wrong? Sort of the A to Z guide for doing this mod. And it's like, yeah, yeah, that. And so that was something, that was a fairly large video I did this last week. Of course, everybody else is doing it too, but nobody does it with the amount of effort that I put into this shit. And people appreciate it when they see it and they find it, but it's like if you go look for the, Z Unshackle mod on YouTube, you're going to get tons of people before you get mine. And they're all like cursory tutorials. They don't talk about quality of life fixes and what problems you might run into, right? They're giving you the happy path to the hack. So that's been sort of keeping all of us busy this last week, is gathering up the resources, because this is one of those things where, like, my 360 was in a storage container, so I wasn't really actively using it. But if you want to put it all away for a rainy day, right, and you want to be able to get access to all of this XBLA software and all of these games and everything else in a very turnkey, easy way, then you've got this as a solution, right? So now the 360, now that I'm done with doing everything I wanted to do with it, it's going to go back in the box. The hack hard drive is going to go back in the box with it. And now when I'm ready to dust that thing off and I actually just want to fucking play, it'll be ready to go. So that was kind of a neat little distraction this week, was getting that put together. Let's see, how much time do I got? 5 minutes. Okay, so some of you, I don't know if I shared it with everybody, but I created sort of a new show, a new video that's sort of an idea that I want to do for a channel, and I call it Tangent, Monroe World Tangent, but Tangent for short. It's basically, I mean, it's not completely unique, but in this audio, well, it's a video, but it's mostly audio, I sort of tell a story. It's sort of like a storytelling podcast. And I liked how it turned out a lot. And I shared it with a handful of people, and everybody said, we think you got something here. But how you market it and how you present it, that could be whether it takes off or not. So instead of actually putting it live on my channel and potentially pissing somebody off, I instead made it unlisted, and I put it in one of my community posts saying, hey, I'm thinking about trying something new. Here's a link to it. And let me know down below. Yes, I like the content. Yes, but I don't want it on this channel. Start a new channel. No, I don't like the content. And it was overwhelmingly positive, but most people didn't want it on the main Monroe World channel. They wanted it on a different channel. And so I've been thinking about it over the course of the last several weeks, thinking, I think there's something there. And I've got 5 or 6 ideas already in the can. I've got a script written for the second one. So I think I'm going to make a new brand channel called Monroe World Tangent, or MW Tangent. And it's going to be sort of like off videos. So some of the things that sneak onto Monroe World that really don't fit the brand is going to go into Tangent. And the Tangent, and in the Tangent, the main purpose of the channel will be to tell these sort of unusual stories in an unusual way. So if you want to hear the 2012 Tangent episode, you can go to Monroe World, go to the community, and look for the post that I left a link to, and you can listen to it. Or if this sort of thing sounds interesting, but you're not really interested in the other part of Monroe World, it'll be a separate channel, probably in the next couple of days. I'm going to have to brand it and do all that silly shit. But if you're interested, you'll be able to just follow that and not have to, entrench yourself into the rest of Monroe World. So I'm kind of excited about that. Like I said, I've got a goodly amount of ideas to support it. So, and it's low production. It's something I can get behind and do relatively quickly. Just write the script, record, run it through a little processor. You'll see what I mean when you watch it. And that's it. And you can call it a day. So that'll be nice to have something that I can sort of put those ideas out on. right, well, listen, I'm like 1 minute from home. Hope you enjoyed the show. This is Shane R. Monroe, Passenger Seat Radio. We'll see you next time. Take care.